On to match 2. Okay. Here we go. All right. I'm going to play first. I have to mulligan this hand. I will keep this hand. Slow. And I do need to draw into things. But I've got 3 lands. Which almost gets me to Guardian Automaton. You know, in retrospect, this might be a deck that wants to be on the draw. Just because I really need to make sure I get my land drops. Now I'm okay, because as long as I get a land in the next... Yeah. He's got to be wondering what the heck is going on. But next turn, I can play the Guardian Automaton. And as soon as I get one of my splash colors... Yeah, and I will freely trade my Guardian Automaton for a Knight of the Pilgrim's Road. I doubt I will be given that option. I'm sure he will have some protection or trick, but I've got to give it a chance. If he doesn't attack, I just know there's no trick. If he does, he's probably not bluffing, but... Yeah, and there's a whole lot of options available to him. Amperin Tactician right there. Okay. So now I know that if he attacks, he's trading. I'd be surprised if he attacks. Yeah. Okay. So now I have my island. So I could flash in my Thunderclap on his turn. But is that better than just getting my own Amperin Tactician down? I don't think so. I think that leaves more opportunity for him to feel aggressive in attacking. I'm not going to attack here, even though, you know, he'd have to lose a creature. I'm sure he would just take the 4 life loss. And again, I want to hold up to make sure that anything he casts, you know, if he wants to kill my creatures, he's got to spend a trick on it. Now, if I'm really lucky next turn, I'll be able to draw a mountain. And then that would give me 6. So I could then cast Eros' Champion, hold up mana. And then the turn after that, flash in the Thunderclap, Mighty Leap the Champion, then flash in the Thunderclap, and attack him for 10 in the air. Seems alright. Okay, so he's wondering what to do. Knightly Valor. Alright, I'm going to double block here. Because I do not want that sticking around. He's probably going to kill the Tactician so I don't gain 3 life. But that's fine with me. I mean, it's kind of a 1.5 for 1. Awesome. So much not the card I was looking for. Okay. Well, I am going to hold up mana to flash in the Thunderclap Wyvern. And this is why you see you should not run 3 colors in this format. I need to pull 2 different mountains before I can cast that Firecraft. And I may not get the opportunity. And he's casting, yeah, something big. Alright. I'm still going to flash in the Wyvern. Alright, now I get to put the Stalwart Aven into play. And hold up Mighty Leap mana. If he attacks with the Gorger, I block with the Automaton and the Aven. And Mighty Leap the Aven? No. Mighty Leap the Automaton. Of course, I might not get that opportunity. I'm going to be taking some damage here. That is for sure. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to block the Automaton. Oh, no. Because... Yeah. Whatever I give flying, if I give the Guardian Automaton flying with Mighty Leap becomes 6/6. He kills the Gorger, lives. I do take 8 and go to 9. But that's not the end of the world. Okay. Oh, that was dumb. I should have blocked the knight and done that. My numbers are mixed up. Okay. Well, I'm still going to be doing some double blocking here. Because I'm assuming he's going to tap down the Guardian Automaton. And then I'll double block the knight. I need some red so bad. Trying to think of any of the white cards that would shore me up. Separatist Void Mage would be pretty sweet. Bounce the knight token. He loses both the token and the enchantment. Oof. Bad news for me. So I'm going to go down to 4 this turn if he attacks all out. Left with very limited options. Okay. So I am just going to block there. So I stay at 9. Yay, Bonded Construct. Well, the good news is I can double block the Patron. The bad news is I've been saying I can double block this or double block that for the last however many minutes. And if I don't draw a mountain or... Oh, Tragic Arrogance would do it. Oh, Tragic Arrogance, please. Please be on top of my deck. And if Tragic Arrogance is on top of my deck, I think I get rid of these two. Because, well, actually, I just get rid of this. If he has Might of the Masses, it's over. But if he has Might of the Masses, I'm almost dead anyways. Because that would bring me down to 1 with 1 blocker. Whoo! One timed it. Oh. Alright, so he can keep the Avis Force Mage. And I can keep an artifact and a creature. And I am going to attack because I need to start getting some damage on the board soon. The upside with being mana screwed is that I do have a chance. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Being at 9 life. Okay. There we go. So now I can cast the champion. I can still attack. Champion can hold off the Knight of the Pilgrim's Road. In theory. And then... yeah, I can start just laying it down. So if I put that down... yeah, I think I Infectious Bloodlust. And then I just attack with the champion. He doesn't block, so he takes 8. I will be able to block the Knight of the Pilgrim's Road. And he starts getting into Exquisite Firecraft range. In fact, if I don't think I have another Mighty Leap. Okay. So 5/4. I do have to block here. But he doesn't attack. Okay. I'm just sending the champion. And gonna hold up the rest of my hand. Because if he has Titanic Growth, Might of the Masses, that kind of stuff, Knight of the Pilgrim's Road could be lethal to me. Okay. So I still have plenty of mana. I don't need to I don't need to put the planes into play. He has to block here. This is lethal. Titanic Growth. Okay. So, they still trade. I'm not going to search up another Infectious Bloodlust because I don't have one. Oopsies. But I am going to... jump the gun again. Knight of the Pilgrim's Road. And I still have lethal next turn if he doesn't get something on board. But he's got 3 cards in hand. I have to assume one of them is a creature. Okay. Much less worried about that. So I just attack with everything. He is likely going to trade, but then I have him at lethal next turn. Yep. So I've got him for 2 in the air. I mean, he could have that 6/6 spider. But he doesn't. No Celestial Flare. Alright. Firecraft to the face. Alright. Let's see if there's anything in the board worth worrying about. Mighty Leap. Yep. Mighty Leap is definitely something. In fact, I think Mighty Leap is going to come in instead of Infectious Bloodlust, because it should help me get over his stuff. And while on Eros Champion, it's pretty sweet, you know, being able to get over his defenders to actually hit the opponent is also pretty sweet. Shrouding Mist is good. All this seems pretty good. So Bloodlust and Titanic Strength do seem like something. Valor and Akros is just, the setup cost is too high. If I had way more, I mean, if I was playing red-white Thopters, sure, but no. So send this back. I will be on the draw. And this is keepable. It's not great, because I do need to draw a Plains, and we know I'll end up needing to draw a Mountain. But I've got 3 lands. I'm 1 away from being able to cast. You know, if I draw a Plains, then I can cast my whole hand. Anointer of Champions, huh? Oof. And Tragic Arrogance. Again, that card is just backbreaking. Especially when stuff like, you know, alright, you get to keep your 1 creature, and I get to keep my artifact and my creature. Haha, just kidding, I don't have a 2-drop, fooled you. Oh, come on, land. Depending upon what he gets on board, as long as I hit land on turn 4, I will probably Aspiring Aeronaut. Okay. So I'll take 3 here. Not the end of the world. Alright. Alright, next turn is the Turn of Truth. Now, the upside is, having this, it's tough to ever say that the game is out of reach. But I'm still a Plains and another land away. 4 mana. Yeah, he's probably going to attack in, because with the Anointer of Champions, he knows if I block, so I'm just going to take 3. Yep. He puts it up to a 3/3. There's nothing much I can do about it. Alright. Yeah, so this is where it becomes a problem. I mean, if he puts Rock Maulers down this turn, it's a lot of bad news for me. Wild Instincts, huh? Okay. Well, there's 5 damage. Alright. So, Aspiring Aeronaut is the play. I need the 2 bodies. And if I'm really lucky, he'll play something like Rock Maulers, and I'll draw a land. And then I will be able to Tragic Arrogance and keep my Thopter and my Aeronaut. And that's not terribly lucky. That's just... Yeah, I can't even double block. I'll go down to 6. And then he goes up to 23. All right. So... put down Guardian Automaton. Haven Battle, Guardian Automaton, Separatist Void Mage, or Amprint Tactician. And I think it's going to be Guardian Automaton, because I will still take some damage here. But I should also be able to get some life back and kind of slow it down. I am definitely looking for that next land. Okay. Well, he could have Titanic Growth, and I just can't risk it. Alright, I just have to reset the board here. And I will leave you... I'm going to leave you the Anointer, because while it does make combat tricky for me, it's also the only creature my Aspiring Aeronaut could possibly kill. Next turn, I can put down... Yep. So, 2, 4, 6 mana. So I Void Mage and bounce the Gorger. Then cast the Rune Servitor as well. Then, depending upon what he's got, I can Amprint Tactician possibly for value. And that leaves me a chump blocker for quite some time. Alright. So next turn, I can tap Tactician and Grasp of the Hieromancer, which will let me attack through for a good chunk of O damage. Okay. And in this case, I will actually leave the Tactician behind and attack with everything, because I will be able to tap down the Vastwood Gorger, so that if he wants to block, which he probably doesn't because he has a definite board advantage there. I would really love to draw a Sentinel of the Eternal Vigil here. Because I need something that can keep the Gorger on lock. Oh, yeah, that sucks. So he attacks, I block with Tactician. Next turn I can attack for 4. That's not very exciting. Yeah. I'm definitely looking to draw the Sentinel. Even a Mountain at this point is not terribly exciting because I can get Iris Champion down, but then I have to do all that multiple chump blocking again. And I have to block because if he has Titanic Growth and I don't block, I am dead. Alright, well. Now at least he is in danger. I'm going to attack with the Void Mage and just double block with these two. He takes 2 damage, but life totals make it look closer than it is. Not what I wanted to see. Okay. Well, that Jailer's going to earn his keep if he lives, which he should. I've gotten Shrouding Mist. So I'm expecting an attack with just the Gorger. I will block with the Void Mage. But if he attacks with both, I'll block Void Mage onto the Champion, Jailer onto the Gorger, and save the Jailer. So, I've got some options here. I've got some outs. Well, I don't like that. So now my out is Sentinel. Nope, that wasn't it. So now I can buy a turn by tapping down the Oracle and blocking yeah, blocking the Gorger. But this is all acts of desperation. I'm still looking at chumping. Yeah, I mean, it's 2 chumps. At this point, I don't even think Sentinel of the Eternal Vigil will fix things for me. So I won't take any damage this turn, but I'm going to be left with nothing. All right. Yeah, he's got big critters. So I'm looking at the possibility of Stratus Walk. Stratus Walk actually seems great against him. So what am I taking out? I'm taking out probably a Mighty Leap. We are on the draw. No, I'm going to take the play. I will keep that. Get my turn 1 bonded construct. Yeah, I should not have kept that. I'm really banking on drawing into lands here. I mean, if my next 2 draw steps aren't land, kind of in a bad spot. Well, I have all sorts of things to buff, but squat all to cast. If he attacks with Visionary, just take the 1. It's not worth losing the construct over, and it's not worth spending a combat trick on. Okay, we're getting there. One more land, and I can cast Thunderclap Wyvern. At that point, I'll put Grasp of the Hieromancer on there and start going to him. Okay. I actually have to not do that now. Because if he attacks with that and I Enshrouding Mist it, I can kill it. But if he doesn't, then I have to start doing a lot more. And that is supposing he doesn't cast Yeva's Force Mage or have a combat trick of his own. So at the very least, my bonded construct lives because it won't take combat damage. Best case scenario, he doesn't have a combat trick, and I get rid of his Freaka's Disciple. So ugly. Okay. Here I have to hold back again. I can always cast Thunderclap. Yeah. Wow. He must have accidentally skipped through combat. That worked out pretty well for me. Now I go ahead and yeah. Amprint Tactician and attack with both. Seems doable. I'm assuming he's got some kind of combat trick. But if not, I get 7 damage in. Alright, so next turn I have 4 mana, so that makes that a 3/2. So 4/3, 6, 10. So I can get him for 10 in the air. But he's got that lifelinker. So realistically, I'm hoping to draw that one more land. If I do draw another land, or if I don't draw another land, I will Stratus Walk the Amperin Tactician to give it flying and swing in for 6 in the air. Hopefully that will draw me a land. That'll leave me up Mighty Leap, so I'd be able to kill his War Oracle. That's a blowout. Alright, so we're back on the Sentinel of the Eternal Vigil plan. Okay. And it works. Go ahead. Block with your Anointer of Champions. And now I'll be able to put Grasp on the Sentinel. And attacking for 5 and blocking for 7 every turn. It's pretty good. But we have seen some pretty big creatures from him. Nice thing about Stratus Walk is, I mean, I've got the mana to cast my whole hand, but depending upon what he plays, I could cast that on whatever he plays so that he can't block. Okay. Not worried about a 3/3 Vigilance. Alright. So I'm going to Grasp. And I think I'm going to attack first. I'll attack with everything. And I'm going to go ahead and tap down the Knight. I don't care what else he blocks with. Okay, so he's taking 9 this turn. So if I cast Mighty Leap now, he'll take 11. Next turn, I could attack for 6, 8 in the air. It's still not lethal. So I'm going to hold up. And now I'm going to Stratus Walk my Bonded Construct. Okay. Not exactly what I wanted, but I feel this does put us in the driver's seat a bit. Because 5, 10, yeah, next turn I have lethal. Yep. Oh, don't have lethal anymore. That's a bummer. Okay. So if I Mighty Leap, that's 8, 10, 13. I'm just going to do it. He can't block any of it. And that way, next turn, I can block with the Sentinel of the Eternal Vigil. And feel pretty comfortable even if it dies. Alright, we got the match. So even though I had pretty low expectations for this deck just because of the mana base,